This movie made me want to cry. It made me want to get in my bed, pull the covers over me, and cry. I'm kind of like teary eyed just thinking about it. But, anyways, it was a good movie. Apparently, it's part of a whole series, but it made me want to cry. Now, I'm not going to even attempt to try and pronounce some of these names because I know I'm going to mispronounce them. I don't want to offend anybody. So, now, I remember names this time for the most part. Well, only the main character's name. Her name was Ashin. And that was really devastating, what happened. But anyway, so let's start from the beginning. I think it had to do with, so they had like, different tribes or whatever, and the tensions were already strained between them. And one tribe, I think that they were trying to like steal ginseng or something like that, and had a run in with another tribe, and these men killed them. Now, why couldn't they just settle this without murder? We'll never know. But killed them and then left them in the forest where nobody's supposed to be at, so that nobody would find out. And I'm like, now did they really think that these people, like these people, these men's people, was gonna just let them come up missing and not, not question people? Anyways, they convinced her dad to go over there and tell them people that them people was killed by a tiger in the woods, by a tiger. And they were like, well, I hope you're telling the truth for your sake, because if you're not, you know what happens. And then in the little forest where the tiger was, it ate a deer that had eaten the plant that turned people into zombies. And at first, I didn't even know it was gonna be one of those kind of movies. I was watching with my brother, and I was glad that it was. Didn't even know it was gonna be that kind of movie. Anyways, it mauled that deer. Like, I know that that's what they do, but it just seemed a little bit more aggressive, and obviously that's how it passed on the zombie virus thing, whatever you want to call it. So those people sent some men, and they were like, we came over here because y'all sent somebody over here to tell us some mess talking about they got killed by a tiger. And my brother was like, they're not going to fall for that, because they had very well-trained men, and it was like multiples of them. So there's no way they're going to believe that a tiger did them all in. And so, the other guys were like, well, yeah, it's true. It was a tiger. And they were like, well, we'll be the judge of that. Tiger comes out, it's killing people. It killed like a whole group. And I'm like, why were they even out there? They don't even know how to fight. They were running. They had weapons and they were running. And I was like, why did y'all even go out there to begin with then? Then those guys that were trained, they were like, these men, they were getting mauled, and they were like fighting to the death. That's like how trained these men were. Like, even one guy, the one guy that killed it, he almost lost his arm, and he was still like going at him and managed to like get rid of Tiger. And so he goes, he just like wraps his arm up and like ties it. He takes out his knife and he guts it, and he was like, this tiger is already dead. It's rotting from the inside, and there was no bones in the stomach, nothing like that. Or I guess that's what he was looking for. And he was like, somebody lied to us, so somebody's gonna die. And they were like, clearly this tiger did not kill our people, so y'all got a war coming. So I'm thinking, because that's all they showed you up to that point. So I was like, oh my God, what are they gonna do? I hope they bring their A game. I hope that they really do know how to fight, because they might have to fight now. And then the next thing you see is, Ashin running around in the forest by herself. And I'm like, first of all, she's brave, because ain't no way I'll be running around at nighttime in the forest. But it was a good thing that she was, because while she was doing that, they were at her village killing everybody. And I was like, and then, it dawned on me. I was like, so did it never occur to them that, like, okay, so they told you, like, I know they told y'all that they're the reason why your men died. But after going there and realizing that it was really nothing but a bunch of like, just, men, children, a couple of men, none of them were really trained. None of them were trained. So did it not dawn on them that maybe they weren't the ones who did it? I don't know. But anyways, they brutally murdered all those people and set their stuff on fire, and then hung the children. And I was like, ugh. And then she comes back to the village and she just like falls on the ground and just starts like weeping, and I'm just like, that is so sad. Then she goes to the people who sent her father, basically sent him to die, basically. And she was like, y'all have to do something. And they basically did the equivalent of, oh, there's nothing we can do. And, oh, were you going to stay here? And they were like, she was like, I'll do anything. I'll work as a spy. Like, we've got to get them back. And she decides to work as a spy. And it's just, the way they treated that young woman was just horrid. Stuck her in the literal pig pen with the pigs, And I was just like, so you mean to tell me you didn't have, like, another building you could have gave her? Y'all couldn't have built one for her? And then that one, like, awful man that was sneaking in there. And for the life of me, I couldn't understand who. Didn't they have somebody, like, watching out, like a night watch person who saw him? Like, you know what I'm saying? So how do you let that happen to her while she's there? Like, that was just unacceptable. It was beyond unacceptable. And she took it all those years. And she got older and she learned how to shoot with the bow and arrow. And I was just like... But anyway, so she was like, telling them like, I forgot what, there was something that had happened that I feel like I'm missing, but she had finally, she was like watching them. I think that happened like later on, but she was like watching them. I think they were talking about how they had to like go out for war, and she was watching some of their soldiers leave on horseback, and she saw those arrows, and then her mind went back to those arrows that she saw in the bodies of those men, and she was like, and I think at that point maybe she was in denial. She was like, something about this is not right, but she just, maybe she just wasn't really putting it together just yet. And then she went over there and she saw her father after all those years, and how they had held him captive, chained up like an animal. They chopped off his legs. No telling what he'd been through, what they did to him. Like, the man was ready to die, like, when she got to him. Like, they probably had tortured him for, like, probably decades. Because it looked like Ashin was, like, maybe 10 years old. And then at that time, it looked like she was like 21, 24, maybe her late 20s. So he had probably been there for like 10 to maybe almost 20 years, for anybody knows. And it was just that, like, her trying to, like, of course she was never going to break the chain. But in her mind, all she was thinking is, I finally found my father. I have to get him out of here. And he kept telling her, like, there's no getting out. And begging her to, like, just end it for him. And I was like... And she just went ahead and did it. And she sat there, like, little houses on fire. And she was just like, you could tell she snapped in that moment. And then when she went back to the camp and she saw those scrolls, that basically was like the equivalent of oh yeah, we did it and this is exactly how we did it. She snapped again. Like, you could look into her eyes and tell that she was no longer there. She was a scorned woman. She was out for blood, and she wasn't gonna settle until she got it. There's like a saying, there's like a scripture in the Bible, I think it says, like, it's like something like, better to be like on the like corner or rooftop than in the house with like an angry or a scorned woman or something like that. I've got it like mixed up, but anyways, you get what I'm trying to say. It's something about when women snap and become vengeful. And when I say she made them pay. She made all of them pay. She was like, oh, okay. Because it's like, and it goes beyond just like her, like them getting her father killed, lying on him, getting him killed, getting her whole village killed. It's the fact that she came to them for help and they looked her in the face, knowing that they screwed her over, knowing that they caused everything traumatic that happened to her. Letting her stay there all that time and go through hell and not doing anything. Like, oh, we finally covered our tracks. Like, let's just, stay put. Like, we're good now. And that's really what they did. They threw those people under the bus, told them, oh, they were the ones who got your people killed, just so they wouldn't have to go to war. She was like, bet. And then, the guy that was, assaulting her over the years comes in and talking about, Ashin, where are you? And then he's dead with his little flower in his head. And then there's that guy that was like walking around like, oh my God, why is everybody dead? And then they start coming back and the zombies. And then that one with the guy, he wakes up. It's like 7 guys in a row. 6 of them are dead. And he was like, something ain't right. And he was trying to get out and he couldn't get out because the door was locked. And then they came back as zombies and he was like, ah! And all you heard was the sound of somebody getting ate. Then all these people running around trying to run from the people who had turned into zombies. And she's just standing on the rooftop just looking at them like, just waiting and shooting them. And then she almost saved that one guy for last, the one who was at the bottom of it all. He was looking like, Ashin, pow, and that was it for him. He was gone. And then that one guy was hiding. He really thought he was getting away, and she shot him. And I was like, and then there was that one guy that was like, Ashin, help me. He's like clambering up the thing, and she like shoots his hand to the ceiling, and he's like, ah, and he's like making all this noise, and then the zombies are like, over there, and then they go follow his screams, and then she sets them all on fire, and I'm like, that was a brutal way to go, but hey, they brought it on themselves. And then I'm thinking, like, that was where it would end. No. Then you find out she had really snapped, really actually, after the village got burned down and the people in there got killed. Because all this time, she had brought everybody in the village back to life and chained them into one of the houses. And then fed one of the last guys to them. So she had actually snapped all that time ago, but she just re-snapped again. Talk about levels and like pain on top of pain, levels on top of levels of trauma. And it's like, it was sad because she was like, these are the only people I have. Like, I have to keep them. Like, don't worry, like, I'll make sure I feed you guys. And I'm just like, like, it was deep. I was like, like, I literally was just like, I was like, wow, that is so sad. Like, that made me sad, like I said. And then she found those guys. Like I said, before she did all that, she put 2 and 2 together. Like, after seeing those arrows and seeing that scroll, then she found those other guys, the ones that killed everybody in the village. And they were just looking at her like, who is that? And then she like draws her bow, and I was like, don't stop it now. But it was good. Like I said, it was so sad though. Like, sad. Broke my heart. But she did that thing. She was like, oh, okay, I got something for y'all. I was like, oh my. Oh my, oh my. She really did. Like I said, this was really sad. But it was good. It was really good. But it was so sad. Oh my God, it was so sad. But it was good though. Not expecting the zombie thing at all. I was not paying attention. So that's why, it might have said something like that in the description, but who pays attention to those? We just watch the movie and then we're surprised. But yeah. But yeah, she really went everywhere with that. She really was like checking people off the list with who had screwed her over, and then she was gonna get them back. I was like, see, y'all shouldn't have done that. But anyways, y'all tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Did y'all like this movie? Did you want to cry too after seeing it? Let me know.